Hello, everybody. Suzanne Snyder Johnson again here with Sail Beyond Cancer Vermont, here to share with you our bi-monthly StreamYard conversations. So if you have somebody in some conversation, some uh, um, subject that you would like to have discussed here on our social media, just reach out to me. I'd love to talk with you and to find out more about what you do. And so today is kind of cool. Today we're going to be speaking with Ada Puches, who is, I'm going to bring her on right now, actually. I'm going to share with you Ada. Hi, Ada.
Hi, Suzanne. Hi, everybody.
So Ada is a community educator from the Vermont Valley Dispensary, right? And here to share with us a little bit about cannabis. So we already, we had a good time in high school. That's a little different now, right? So, but how does this? We all know that we all have been hearing about the fact that cannabis has been so helpful for cancer patients. Mm-hmm. And what I'd love for you to do is to share with our viewers today. How do you get involved with this? It's illegal, federal, but it is legal in our state and roughly more or less. I think you shared with me 37 states in the nation, right?
Mm-hmm. And growing all the time, right?
Yeah. So tell, like, what do people most don't know, or can you tell me what is it like for people, who are being challenged with cancer? How do they do this? How do they go about getting access to cannabis?
Mm-hmm. So basically, there's a state program, and we're in a few minutes. We're going to show you where to go on the state's website to get the materials that you can do paper. You can print it out paper. There's a online process that you can do, but you take that to your healthcare provider, and many times for us with cancer, it's the oncologist, right? And so they will have an exam with you and verify for the state that you have this condition. And then you take your paperwork and the oncologist's signature on that verification form, and you send that into the state. And then in usually about 30 days, oftentimes much less, you get a card in the mail. And that card lets you go to the dispensary of your choice to start to get the products that you need.
How many, are there a lot of dispensaries? I mean, I know of places around, but I don't know, are there specific dispensaries across the state that are the ones that the state is affiliated with, kind of thing? And I mean, I don't even know.
The state has to approve. The state has to go through, the state goes through a process. People who own the dispensaries put in an application themselves, and the state goes through their own approval process. So I work with Champlain Valley Dispensary. They have basically 4 locations: Burlington, South Burlington, Middlebury, and Brattleboro. And there are 3 other dispensary companies in different locations throughout the state.
So I put up here a question that you and I were talking about. So what about that? What about some viewers, for instance, today who are watching, who really, number one, either doesn't really feel very comfortable asking about this with their oncologist, or don't have a healthcare provider that they feel like understands this value, and what happens? Like, how do you get past that?
Right. Yeah. No. And it's thank you for that question, because it is actually one that we are still struggling with to this day. So an oncologist is somebody by the state's regulations that can sign that paperwork. There are MDs. Doctors of osteopath, your osteopath and naturopath, an advanced practice nurse, or a physician assistant. All of those 5 categories can sign. But sometimes people refuse to. And so there should be staff within the oncologist's office, like the advanced practice nurse and a PA who could sign. But if you come up and none of those want to sign it for whatever reason, a lot of times it's misinformation on their part, and you don't have a healthcare provider that you work with normally, then please contact us, because we've developed lists throughout the state of folks who understand the program.
I figured that would be the case. That if anybody's listening today and are curious about this, and you just have questions like, how do I deal with this, and how do I navigate? No pun intended there. There's no nautical term thrown in this. But to reach out to Ada, and I'm sure there are other people who work as well there. But this is exactly why we're doing this, to help you navigate that system and really get the help you need, because we keep hearing about how amazing this is, cannabis is. So okay, here's a typical question that everybody asks. Okay, what if I don't want to get high? Like, I don't really want to walk around in half days. Some people do, but for this, what happens next? And if they don't want to smoke or they don't want to vape, like, what do you do?
Right. So those are great questions. If you don't want to get high, and we hear that a lot from from cancer patients, because either they've never used cannabis or they used it so long ago, and they might be older and they just don't want to. They absolutely don't have to. It's actually sort of, I think, still a little bit of a myth in the medical cannabis world that you have to get high. You don't. And there's two different primary ways that patients can control their inebriation. One is what we call go low and go slow. So patients are guided to start as low as 5 milligrams, sometimes lower, often called microdosing. And then at their own speed or rate over several days, sometimes weeks, it depends on the patient, they slowly up their dosage or titrate up till they get to that sweet spot, which is symptom relief and no inebriation. And that is generally how a lot of our patients navigate their medicine. The second way is, the main ingredient of cannabis, the one that everybody knows about and hears about in terms of the classic high, is THC, or delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. And that is a powerhouse of therapeutic qualities. But there's another one in there that's very big and that people have heard about a lot, called CBD, or cannabidiol. CBD is like everywhere, right? It's in your gas station. And so the two together, though, actually are considered sort of a power couple. And they both have therapeutic qualities, but CBD actually has another quality, which is it can tamp down the euphoria that people can feel from taking THC. So lots of patients, actually, those are the types of products that they prefer, whether it's dried flower or a manufactured product. And generally, people refer to them as one-to-one products.
Yeah. Well, this is great. It's very helpful. We try to inform people here and give them information that's very useful enough so that anybody who's watching really wants to find out more, please do reach out. I'm going to be sending the information below here so that you can be well informed, which is all about what we're trying to do here at Sail Beyond Cancer Vermont. Mm-hmm. We really want to make sure that everybody's informed and you have this knowledge. At least you know where to go to get the information. And so I have another question is like, all right, let's say if I have cancer and I'm trying to figure out, where do I find out what healthcare providers are participating in this, right? Because it could be kind of a maze, I would think. Is that going to be something that's on your website as well?
So we don't, at this point, we're redoing our website. So we don't have healthcare providers up there yet. We will in the future, for sure. That also might be a question that you can ask the Vermont Marijuana Registry. They might be able to inform folks about that. And then again, what I said, if you get a no from your oncologist or from your primary care provider, to contact us, because that list that isn't up on the website yet will be at some point. And another thing I wanted to share with you, if we have time, Suzanne.
1 more minute.
Oh, really quickly, if people don't want to smoke, and I will say that smoking sometimes, we don't want people putting things into their lungs, but sometimes a quick intake of something that can help with severe pain is really, really, really important. But we have so many options for not smoking. We have, cut me off at any moment. We have bakery goods and sweet confections. We have fat infusions like olive oil, ghee, coconut oil, butter, so you can make your own products. We have tinctures that you can put into your tea or favorite beverage. We have topicals for local pain And my favorite is the transdermal patch, which you can put right
Great.
there where it's really thin, and it's 8 to 12 hours of relief.
Wow. That's really, really cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we should just one more question for you, and that is, what would be the biggest takeaway that you would like to leave everybody right now? And I'd like just something to think of. What is it that you want them to really learn about today? The one big thing, if there is one big thing, there's a lot.
There's a lot of things, but I think the one big thing that I would say is specifically for cancer patients, there's actually medical evidence and research that things like nausea and vomiting, loss of appetite, neuropathy, anxiety, insomnia, all the things that are very common for cancer patients, both in their diagnosis and moving forward from treatment, that specifically medical cannabis may be able to help you with.
I have Juliette responding here to us saying she loves the one-to-one tincture. Can you explain what that is?
The tincture?
Yeah.
So tinctures are basically, they're alcohol-based solutions that, they've been used for centuries, usually with herbal products. And so cannabis oil can be infused in them. And people take it mostly because the absorption is so quick under our tongue. There's lots of these capillaries, blood capillaries that absorbs your medicine really quickly.
She mentioned that it helps her to sleep, which is, of course, one of the many side effects of going through treatment. And so this is wonderful, Ada. Thank you so much. And again, everybody, I'll be putting down her information here, the very bottom of our show here, and always reach out, because I think that's really the most important thing here to do, is to find out more about the very specific questions you may have. And thank you again for being with us. And we so appreciate you being here, Ada.
Lovely. Thank you for having me, Suzanne.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody. Please reach out.
Thank you. Bye.